Hi.
Ready to go?
Yes.
We're good? Okay. I'd like to call our regular council meeting of Tuesday, January 27th to order. We respectfully acknowledge that this meeting is being held on the traditional territory of the Clovis people. May I have approval of the agenda as presented? Council Dugas, seconded by Council Texmo. All in favor? We have the minutes of the special council meeting held January 13th for adoption. Moved by Councillor Smith, seconded by Councillor Tidbury. All in favor? Carried. We have the minutes of the regular council meeting held January 13th for adoption. Councillor Dugas, Councillor Smith, any errors or omissions? All in favor? Carried. We have no delegations. We have our council action item report for January 13th. Any comments? I know I was talking to our DAO, and there will be an update coming fairly soon about the Beaver Harbor extension. So we have an official extension to
I believe it's July.
July 2026. So just received the letter from the lawyers. We had verbal confirmation, but now it's official. No new business. Under correspondence, we have from Corey Tall, President, BC Watershed Security Coalition. I thank you for signing the Watershed Security letter to Premier Eby for information. How's it do this?
Just a question, Mayor. With regards to that, I know that the letter, and thank you for signing the letter. That's, you know, me with watershed stuff. That's pretty important stuff, but interesting thing about that, was there somebody gonna be putting in a resolution to ABICC with regards to that? Do you know?
I do not know that.
Because I was thinking that would have been a good thing to go to ABICC as a resolution and then move it into UBCM, right? Because it, you know, affects the whole province really. And certainly would like to see that $100 million getting moved around to the different communities, which would be awesome. So I'm not sure who we would ask that. Mayor, I don't know who we would ask it.
Maybe I'll reach out to a couple of the other mayors that are very much more active and just see if anyone's putting a resolution in.
Okay, thank you.
We have from Jonathan Locke, Chief Executive Officer, Atlee Resources, regarding the unfortunate orderly closure of Beaver Cove ship facility. Very unfortunate.
I know, Councillor Tidbury is gonna talk a little bit about, his time with the TLA. But that, with Domtar's Crofton Mill closing, this affects Atlee, but they were closing because they didn't have enough access to fiber. And now the fiber that's being produced by Atlee has no market to go to, so seems like a bit of a catch-22.
I agree.
It's not very good for the industry.
No, it's not very good for the industry. It's not very good for the North Island.
Yeah, a lot, lost jobs.
We have from Rob Tucker, Philomi Days Committee, regarding a call for volunteers for Philomi Days 2026. This call has gone out to so many people and so many organizations, and I just asked to have it on the agenda. So we made sure that anyone that missed it on social media or missed it through their different organizations were aware of it through our meetings. So if anyone is interested in volunteering, they desperately need volunteers to make sure Philomi Days goes ahead.
Thank you.
Got shared pretty good from a lot of people, so hopefully, people step up.
Yeah. All right, we have under draft minutes of the Policy and Governance Committee meeting held January 13th for information. Any comments? Looking at new policies coming forward sometime in the next few months. We have our draft minutes of the Finance Committee held January 15th for information. Under staff reports, Norma Isaac, Director of Financial Services regarding CP 2.26 tangible capital assets. Director of Financial Services, would you like to speak to this policy?
When we were doing the asset retirement obligation, it came up that, what's your TCA policy? And I could find, a draft. So we started working on it then, and, the policy was tweaked a little bit, but mostly just, formatting and stuff, and I worked with a consultant on it. It's in alignment with our financial statements, so like the Appendix A where you've got your estimated useful life, those numbers align with our financial statements. And having a policy that's like this is really important for your financial stability. So it carries forward, and then for me, I think the most important part of that is those estimated useful lives, so that when you get a new asset that goes in, every director and everybody is always putting the same timelines on the asset. Say on it,
Well, I know that at the next meeting, you're gonna get a presentation on our tangible capital asset or our asset management plan. So this is kind of going in line with that, but this isn't deviating from any procedure that we're already currently doing. What it's doing is it's strengthening our procedures so that we can actually have better tangible capital assets. Because if some of you who were around in 2008, when tangible capital assets became a requirement under the community charter and PSAB, local governments didn't have to account for tangible capital assets like regular businesses did. And so municipalities have been around for 40, 50, 100 years, took groupings of assets and said, okay, we've got 700 feet of water line. This is how much it costs, but we didn't actually have it broken down into how many years it had left. So everything is kind of lumped together. So unfortunately, what you're going to get when we do the asset management plan is we're still working with that data and we're going to keep breaking it out. This policy will help us strengthen that so that we can continue to keep building on that and making our asset management plan much better.
yes, your tangible capital assets listing will be componentized way more by following a policy that's laid out for each director of finance that goes forward.
Okay, thank you. Any comments, questions? Councilor Davis?
Just a question with regards to Appendix A right at the end of your report. When you talk about estimated useful lifetime and it's like you go from 10 years to 100. I mean, it's kind of like, wow. I mean, there's such a big spread there that how do you then make that determination with regards to the end of the lifespan of, let's say, for a piece of equipment in the water or sewer area, that when you're talking about 10 to 100 years, you're gonna somehow, some way you'll tighten that up, I guess, eh?
When you're looking at like that sewer infrastructure and the water infrastructure.
Yeah.
You get into those components in there, that's where you're not only gonna have help from your like Joe guys. Or
Yeah.
public works people that know that valve is only gonna last X amount of time, but you also have your auditors and teams that will look at what's the most common age for that to be. And like you get that spread in there, and one thing I always bring up is you take a vehicle And for us, a vehicle living on the ocean, we're rusting out way faster. So you gotta have your common knowledge in there as well, right?
Yeah,
But those useful lives are something that's pretty well embedded within PSAB, and auditors will always look at it. So if you take something and all of a sudden you've got a car and you're gonna say, oh, I want 20 years on that because you wanna amortize it over a longer period of time and not show the money, they're gonna go, that's not in line with what PSAB says, right? So having a policy makes it so that that can't happen with us.
right.
Does that answer your question?
Mhm.
And Public Sector Accounting Board is PSAP.
Yeah, sorry. Ask
So
it.
they would somewhat determine how long you can,
Yes.
extend the lifespan. I was just thinking about something when you talk about, well, getting off the topic maybe, but you talk about the wastewater treatment plant at the airport, for example, it was built in 74. Where there's centrifuge blowers in there that produce air, that they said that was gonna have a lifespan of 25 years. Well, that was built in 74 and it's still running. So theoretically, on the books, they're not worth anything, but go to replace them. They're worth a lot of money.
Yeah.
So those are the kinds of things that, it's hard to establish, okay, what's their worth when they're still worth something, because they're still working, right?
And that's where the difference between estimated useful life and like you can set that and you say, 75 years and it's made it 100 years, or 50 years, and it's made it 75. When you have to write that off, you're not taking a big loss on your disposals,
Right,
right? Where it's gonna be the opposite way around for somebody that's gonna push it out longer than what they need to, then they're gonna take a loss on it. So
Yeah.
you've got,
it's a balance, and then, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's interesting, because asset management is huge, eh? Because then we're supposed to have so much money in the kitty to be able to recover what's past its life expectancy, right? We gotta have money there, so it's like, yeah. It's a tough one to try to figure out, put it that way.
That's where the next presentation
Yeah.
will be a little bit of an eye opener. And so when we send you the report, we're gonna tell you to read it backwards. Because it won't make any sense if you start it from the beginning and don't read the appendices first, because the appendices really form the entire document. The document's going to make your hair stand on end without reading those appendices.
Yeah,
So we're gonna give you instructions on how you can better follow along without.
Well, the presentation is really gonna help. The presentation and having that presented is gonna help a lot, and it's like, it's gonna be a great presentation, and the asset retirement obligation was the same way, you get started on this, and now you got the asset management plan, and by having all these different policies in there, you're just building your financial stability. So you're moving forward and don't need to be a small town.
yeah. Being more proactive with regards to your expenditures rather than being reactive, because you've got a plan, right? And that's important, for sure.
It's been a good exercise.
Thank you.
All right, so we have a motion to move by Councillor Tidbury to accept this policy, seconded by Councillor Texmo. Any other comments or questions? All in favor?
Yeah,
Carried.
good work putting that together.
Yeah.
Yes.
A lot of work.
We have from our CAO, heading up to the council 2023-2026 strategic plan update for information. Do you want to talk about it a bit?
Sure, I'm not gonna go into all of the details. I did pull some statistics today, so we're running a campaign online to kind of highlight different sections of the strategic plan. What is a strategic plan? What have we accomplished? Break them down into the different pillars. We've currently had about 71 views online, just on the web alone, to actually go to the asset manager, to the strategic plan. Which is a pretty big deal, because normally when we post things, like even the district connection, we might get like 14 views on the actual website. So that's good. It's actually drawing the attention, but we've had over 900 views on a few of the videos as well. So that's been pretty good. And while we don't have a lot of comments, None of the, shares have been negative, so that's a really great thing. And people that I have talked to that have seen them have all said what a great job that we're doing, and it's nice to be able to see that highlighted. So I do appreciate council's direction in kind of letting us break that down a little bit into smaller chunks to be able to understand. Unfortunately, I am the voice of the bear because the AI voice that was created was not very, so you end up with me, so. My voice a lot for the last week and a half, so, hopefully that's maybe not why people are watching them, I'm not being mean or anything.
Becoming a celebrity.
Yes, so, so the spokes bear, we have one more video to put out, and that'll be on the culture section of the strategic plan, which will probably be a little bit later this week, because I'm a little behind. So.
I think breaking it out was a great suggestion. I think it was from Councillor Dorwood or
Mhm.
Councillor Smith, and
They were talking.
really good idea.
Yeah,
So thank you.
yeah, good work.
Yes.
A lot of work goes into that, and
That's perfect. That's awesome.
great for the public to be able to see that breakdown and know exactly what's going on.
Yeah. All right, from CAO and Nelson Smith, internal council committee and external counts committee appointments. It's just been updated where we have gone back to our operational services committee and our Parks, Recreation, Arts and Culture Committee. And with different assignments.
Mhm. I'll make that motion.
Moved by Councilor Dugan, second by Councilor Smith, all in favor? And carried. From CAO, having Councilor Smith regarding development permit amendment for 7370 Market Street.
So this will be one of two amendments that'll be coming forward, but we know that they want to get their signage done on the hotel. So the original development permit had them utilizing the existing signage spaces, and this one is actually outside of that. So all we're doing is just amending it to include the signs that are permitted. They have two fascia signs. Our bylaw says you're allowed to have one fascia signs, but under the development permit, council can amend the development permit to allow for that to happen. And then what you'll see next month, I believe in February, we're gonna present a second amendment, which would be for a development variant permit with this development permit for the pub extension on the front of the building, which is going into the front setback. So, but we have to send out our notices and everything else, but we wanted to make sure that we could approve the sign application. Staff doesn't see any issue. It's aligned with everything else within the sign regulations, and we would recommend council approve the development permit, to amend the development permit to allow those two fascia signs.
I'll make that motion to amend the permit to allow the 2 fascia signs.
Moved by Councilor Texmo, seconded by Councilor Kitberg. Any comments? Councilor Dugan?
Sorry, Mayor.
Yes.
Just curious about, so what will be on both of the signs? Are they both exactly the same message?
Yes, they'll both say Hotel 19. So one will be for,
Taller than the other.
yeah, smaller than the other. So depending, it doesn't matter which way you're coming from. So if you're on Market Street driving towards it, you'll be able to see it on the front of the building. If you're coming down Douglas, you'll be able to see it on the back of the building. But it also indicates too where the entrance is with the bigger sign on the back.
Oh, because on that drawing there, it indicates that it's both on the very same side.
It is on the same side, but if you're driving down Market Street, if the sign is actually up, the Salvation Army
Yes,
covers that.
yes,
So if they put the one where it was originally, the North Shore actually had two signs.
yes.
One had fallen off
Oh,
right at the front, and then they had the big octangle.
yes, they had that big one there, yeah.
And so if you were driving down Market Street coming towards the hotel, you actually couldn't see that because the other building would actually block that.
Block it.
So what they need is the sign down at the front, so that as you're coming along Market Street, you get that view. And then as you're coming down Douglas Street, you'll get the view of where the entrance is.
Okay, I'm just curious, man.
I think the hotel is coming along really nice.
It looks pretty awesome.
It
though.
does. Pretty awesome, and the rooms look very nice.
Yeah, it's not that I'm against it. I'm just wondering why they had two of it
Yeah.
on the building, saying the same thing basically, but
All right,
they know what they're doing.
all in favor? Carried. We have bylaw number 1187 2026, user rates and fees for 2026 for adoption. Moved by Counselor Tidbert, second by Counselor Texmo. Any comments?
Well, great.
All in favor? Carried.
Good work again by the finance department.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Doesn't take long here, but it takes long to get.
Yeah. All that for a couple of hands. Huh?
All right, no pending bylaws, council reports, Counselor Smith.
Thank you, Mayor. All right. Well, we had our, a quick little, Port Hardy Farmers Market meeting, getting ready for the upcoming season, so stay tuned for that. January 19th, we had our first Below Me Days, our AGM of the year, and we need a chair, a treasurer, a secretary, and a director for the kids event. So all very large positions on the committee, and so that's why there was a major, and thank you, Mayor, so much for putting it on today's council, is that for many days we're kind of like, uh-oh, is this even going to happen? Like, it requires a lot of people power and business support, the district of Port Hardy support, like everyone coming together, all the different service clubs and groups, but a small group of volunteers actually put it together and make sure it all gets seamed up. So hopefully we'll have some good news to share at the next council meeting. But we have been getting a lot of good responses. Just for a little update, there has been a lot of emails coming into our vice chair, which is good news. So we should be good on volunteers. It's just the people that make the decision we need to fill. So that should be soon. On January 21st, had the Port Hardy Heritage Society meeting. Got a really good board and really nice age groups too. It's not just people that are retired that are part of it. So some really good focus coming out of there. They're working on the feasibility study for getting a new building. There's been a lot of it's difficult when you run two locations, two sets of staff, and we really need to focus on getting that all under one roof to make it sustainable and manageable. And then they're continuing with their staff development, which is incredible that we're building capacity within our locals, which are superstars that she has down there on staff, and getting them up enough, which is great. And today we had a Bear Smart Lomi winner. That was fantastic. So we had a little photo session today with her, and that was really cool. And yeah, them getting ready to ramp up for Bear Smart Week. So yeah, that's it.
Awesome, thank you. Counselor Texmo.
Thank you, Mayor. Not a lot to report. The governance meeting on the 13th, missed the Floaties meeting coaching at the exact same time, unfortunately, and wasn't able to get away from it. Other than that, coached the tournament for the kids in McNeil, and they placed bronze, which has been a while since a team placed in the house tournament. So
Perfect.
that was exciting. Good for the kids, good for the morale. Other than that, that's it for me.
Thank you. Counselor Robertson.
Thank you. Few things, where to start? So there was a meeting with the Minister of Waterlands and Resource Walrus and Minister Brar, and that was here. We haven't talked about that yet. That was in this.
Well, the Minister of Water didn't happen, did it?
Oh, no, right. It was
Mines.
Minister of Mines. Sorry,
Yeah.
that's
Mines.
Yeah, Minister Brar. And it was interesting having the minister at the council table and the president, CEO of Noral Copper and Gold, Chief Nelson of Quatsuno, and council, mayor, and there were some number of us there. And just about the potential for a mine in the region, and it was an encouraging meeting. and not the least of which was because more or less we were all singing from the same hymn book sort of thing. Yeah, it was good to see and encouraging. And I think Sam at one point said, yeah, this is where things begin now. With that. So that was very encouraging. I sat in on a BC Ferries session.
Oh, I forgot.
And the president, Nick Jimenez, was presenting and some of the staff. And it was going through some of the challenges that BC Ferries faces with all the different regulatory bodies that they face. And they have marine transport, they have provincial regulations and all. So it is a bit of a jurisdictional nightmare. And it is complicated, but again, that's their mandate. They are BC Ferries, and so that's what they do. They are entering right now because they operate essentially on a 4-year contract with government. That contract renewal is coming up in 2027. And so the plan is to start working on that, on the proposal for the contract, starting now, and the contract would begin the plan would be filed in September 2027. So they were talking about that and some of their, issues with ships and certainly the issue with the Alert Bay ferry being so often at capacity. Anyway, they were assured that through various things that this is the last time that will ever happen because they have 4 or 5 new ferries coming online and they're not island class, they're another class, a new class ferry. Anyway, they'll be coming online and they'll have a spare, so that won't be happening anymore. So you just, replacing ships as they go through assets and assets age out sort of thing. Anyway, so their plan is being put together now for presentation to government. It'll go to the ferry commissioner first. So I did ask the question. I suggested again that the dissolution of the ferry advisory committees was possibly, losing a valuable input from communities. They didn't agree with that. So needless to say, and I did suggest also that as a community, we're very concerned about BC Ferries. It has an impact on our community, as it does with all coastal communities up and down the coast, by and large. And that I did suggest that, our best, it would be better for us to present to BC Ferries our thoughts about their plan coming up, their future contract with the government and the plan going forward is when they're planning, not after it's already been made and sent to the commissioner. Again, we disagreed with that. But I think it is, when you're planning, that's the best time to get your licks in, as opposed to when the plan is made. So we will continue, and I hope to contact communities and representatives of people who used to be on the North Island Central Coast Ferry Advisory Committee, and maybe we'll do something, have a little chat with the BC Ferries. But don't hold your breath. And also I was at a foundry meeting and they're going along and they're expanding. They're in the process of doing that. And there was actually a lot of technical information about the model that they're using, the integrated step care model, and how the use of Foundry and number of people going for various levels of not intervention or care, but just Care model, okay, so, there are more and more, youth going into it, and accessing the services, thank you. So, and with the expansion, it will be that much better received, and the services will be able to be expanded as well, so Foundry is going forward, and I think the mayor has something to say about that coming up as well. Good. So that's me, sorry, going on, but
No, it's okay.
Good, Counselor Judith.
Thank you, Mayor. Yes, I had the pleasure of going to Montmorency Regional District Board meeting on behalf of our mayor, because she was away enjoying her vacation. Thank goodness for that. Had a good time. And one of the presentations that was there was Dr. Charmaine Enns was there and did a report, same what she did here. And there was a lot of conversation. John was there. He made some comments with regards to some of the things that were mentioned. And yeah, it was very well received, and the information was great. I mean, she emphasized, I think, a lot about alcohol and about its impact on
It was one of the
on our
things.
health. Yeah, one of the things, yeah. And about all the different things that go on in our particular area, obviously, for sure. And how it contributes to our, basically our health, right? How we can do better and try to get the message out there, which is pretty important. It was also discussed in the health meeting about the cost sharing that Island Health was expecting or hoping for the regional district with regards to their 40% cost sharing with regards to the hospital. And it was made very noted to them by our CAO, our DCAO, and Andrew Horry, that would not be feasible when you talk about a $4.8 million project for Port Hardy Hospital. And that means that just for Port Hardy Hospital, our contribution would have to be 1.9 million, which is, how do we do that? How much taxes are we willing to pay off that debt? So they had talked about that, and then they even made the Island Health sort of came around, they threw the figure out, well, what about 10%? Well, 10% still kind of right out of a possibility, even that. So I don't know where that's all gonna go. I know there's still a lot of discussions about that. We still have 2 years left on the primary healthcare center here to pay off from the RD. So once that's paid off, I mean, I guess we have a little bit of money, but we're not gonna have a lot to put in towards a 4.8 million. And that's just for Port Hardy. That's not Port McGill's upgrade either. Also, Ian Wood talked about, a question was brought up with regards to midwives in our area. And he said that they were still working with First Nations Health Authority with regards to how that was going, because at this particular time, they're the only ones that are paying for that. First Nations Health Authority, so they want to be able to work together with them in some kind of arrangement so they can make sure that that's offered again for others that aren't First Nation in our particular area, which is very important. Also, moving on to RD stuff, our request for grant and aid for 100,000 was received, and it will be brought up at their next finance meetings, which will be coming up shortly. Also, the Festival of Lights, the final report from the Rotary and from that group was presented to them, and they were very happy with that. And obviously, that funding that they were looking for, $5,000, I believe, they'll be coming forthwith. So that's great. They also talked about too, Heather, with regards to knotweed. So I'm not sure exactly where we are at with that, because I know Pat English was involved with that, and he was saying about they're starting to put the program together again this year. And I don't know exactly who's doing that, but hopefully we get involved, because we do know we have a knotweed situation, still hasn't gone away.
Just to add to that, we did the knotweed program here last year because of course the regional district used to do it.
Yep.
And then they stopped doing it. And of course we fell off the wagon and weren't doing it. So of course all of our sites have come back. So we ran the program again this year, and in November I sent out an email to all of the agencies and asked everybody to work collectively together, and Pat has taken the lead on that, brought everybody back together.
Okay, so that's how that happened.
Yes.
Oh, thanks for that. He didn't mention any of that. So thank you for that update. Okay, so, yeah, and then our emergency coordinator, Matthew, I'm sure that John's familiar with that group anyways. He talked about the BC Burning, which is sort of like what is that?
It's a movie. It's a
Okay.
video. You can get it online.
Okay,
It's definitely an eye opener, and it goes with Fire Smart, and it's called BC is Burning
okay.
is what you need to look at,
And he said
and
that was pretty good, though.
oh, it's super.
Come here.
It's definitely a eye opener. It's we're gonna basically have another bad year,
Mhm.
but that goes without saying. Sorry,
No,
Yes.
that's why I asked what that was about, because he made it.
I can
He said
mention
we
it
should
with-
look at it too. Okay, and then the other thing that was brought up too, that we discussed was that, which was surprising, well, we knew that the RD was looking for people. We do know that. They got 8 positions.
What?
Right now,
Yes.
8 positions that they need to fill. 2 in the finance department. 1 as director of operations. 2 in the planning department. Director of Parks and Recreation, foreman for the landfill, and the AcDev officer. Well, I mean, they have the AcDev person there, Pat's filling in right now, but they've got 8 positions that that they're looking for to fill. So they've got, yeah, they got some issues to have to deal with, unfortunately. So, and we do know that it's hard to fill those positions, right? So, boy, they got some challenges ahead of them for sure. And also what was brought up was regards to, I think it was our mayor that brought it up to them with regards to working on the policy committee to update with regards to how they do their public meetings. And with regards to like similar, well, we talked about similar to what we do ours. You know, our end of our council meeting, we open it up to the public, but it's not necessarily a part of the agenda. But we open it up to them, but they've had some definitely some issues with regards to people coming there and talking about things that like we talk about have to be a part of the agenda, but they can come talk about anything and everything. So it can get a little bit out of hand. So, and there were some of our past employees were there again at the last meeting and asking some questions. But I mean, they were answered very well, but there's still a lot of ways to be able to deal with that. Yeah, and we talked about the minister coming here, which was awesome to have the minister here to talk about the mines, mining and critical minerals. That was really great. That was a great meeting, very encouraging. Vintas meeting, we had a Vintas meeting, and John will talk a little bit about that, but we had a really great 2025 year for tourism this last year, I mean, and we're really looking forward to this year. And just to let everybody know that group, there's a few of them that go on tours, Natalie being the lead of that. And they actually go to Toronto, Calgary, and Vancouver and present the North Island. And they get a really good turnout and they get really good feedback from that. And there's been a lot of people coming, especially a lot of people now that aren't going to the States to travel or whatever. They're staying home kind of thing, and they're traveling in Canada. And I guess, you know, we're obviously, as we know, and John knows about the North, up at Cape Scott, stuff like that. San Joe, we got inundated with people last year. I mean, just people everywhere coming up here. And I don't think it's gonna be any different this year. It sounds like it's gonna be pretty busy. So anyway,
Does that mean we
I
get
was
more-
way past what
Does
you
that mean
meant.
we get more money?
Well, I don't know.
No.
Maybe. Hopefully.
Counselor Tidbury.
Thank you, Mayor.
Okay, I've had a busy schedule, and it all started off with the truck loggers convention in Vancouver, and the attendance was great. Lots of locals, especially from the island, were there, but the vendors was totally the opposite. It was a shame to see so few vendors there. And the magic word was, give us the fiber. No fiber to be had. And what I've done, like I've handed, everybody out there a little introduction and
Uh,
You want me to take the whole thing?
the whole thing,
Take the whole thing?
take the whole thing home. No, it's all yours. That one's all yours.
I can take right in the whole.
No.
It's all one package.
It's all one.
Tammy.
Okay.
All one. So, what I've given you is, the CEO from Hamac, a guy by the name of Paul Sanders. And, he expressed his view from what, a taxpayer's view would be, I thought.
Mhm.
You know, when you're talking about lumber supplies and stuff like that, the average guy doesn't wish to know that. But this one kind of opens it up, and especially when you see that we are going to be. It shows you the labor costs. It shows you the fiber supply, and some of the questions that was asked on the fiber supply and stuff like that. And it also talks about supplying hydropower and stuff like that from the mill and things like that. Really interesting. The other thing that was interesting there was that the movie, and it's called Beefing is Burning. And I encourage everybody to watch that movie because that is the future that wildfire is going in. You know, they looking at clearing underneath the trees and stuff like that, cutting the trees, looking at the night fighting the fires at nighttime, and basically that. There was a scientist there, Charmaine, I forgot her name. But anyway, she was just fantastic explaining it all to us. We're gonna have another bad year, by the way, of fires. Because we can't get away with that. You see the drought that we're having.
Mhm.
And so, but overall, the event was all gloom and doom. The one thing that was remarked on, in past years, for as long as the people can remember, the premier always attended the truck loggers convention.
Mhm.
This is the first time any convention that the premier wasn't there.
He wasn't.
Wow.
He
I
wasn't
thought he
there.
was scheduled to be there though, wasn't he?
He was scheduled
He didn't show up.
and he wasn't there. He hadn't, he went to India or someplace, I think.
Mhm.
Poor planning on his part. And it was remarked that even the worst days of like Campbell, when he went to Hawaii and he had his little incident in Hawaii,
Yeah,
he showed up for
truck loggers.
truck loggers. So,
He was sober there.
That's all
So-
recorded.
but what I give you, I think it's well worth reading. And it's definitely eye opener there. And they're talking $1 billion that if Harmac goes down, that's what it's gonna cost Paul's. So, while I was down there, I had the chance, I had two ministers. I had the forestry minister and I tapped into the mines minister because that was up there. And I just get this feeling that, is this the new trend that we're forgetting about forestry and we're looking at mines? And there's just room for thought. I would like to maybe have a Zoom meeting or a person-to-person meeting with the premier and just ask him, what's he gonna do with our forestry? Because, well, you just seen the latest, down in Port McNeil, closures there. And what else is gonna be closed before long? So I'm not too pleased right now with the MVP and forestry. Going on. Yes, I did Filmy Days and it isn't the first time that we've had this gloom and doom in the Filmy Days. We've had numerous times like this, but as you can see, with everybody's saying, and it was great to see a letter go out saying, come out and support or else it's going. And that scared a lot of people, so now they're all coming on board now. So that's great.
Kudos to the chamber.
Yeah, and I attended the regional district meeting, and Dennis has basically explained. Charmaine was, she sat opposite and we just had a little chat to ourselves. I've known Charmaine over 24 years, if not longer. And I remember when she got the job and stuff like that. So we had a good little chat on that. But one of the things that really got to me was the senior section and how it's increasing, and eventually it's going to be, that's all we're going to have around here eventually. We don't watch it.
Hopefully there'll be a little bit more.
Check the table,
diversity.
Jack. Check the table.
And but it's an awesome report, and I don't know if can we get that put on our Hardy site, that report? So that people-
We've already done that. We've had that
I-
presentation here.
I know we had it here.
and It's on our website.
Is it?
Yeah,
Okay,
and as
also,
well, we were the ones that suggested to Charmaine to go to the regional district.
well, she did, and she did a fantastic job.
She
Yeah.
did great.
She was
She
absolutely
changed it
fantastic.
up a little bit too.
Yes, oh yeah, it's updated a little bit.
Yeah, which was really good.
Yeah. Yeah, don't have more than 2 drinks.
Per week.
Okay, Vintac meeting. Vintac meeting is very encouraging about tourism on the North Island.
Yeah.
It's gonna be another banner year, bar none. And when we talk about doing these trade shows, not only does Natalie go, she takes a group of people with her.
Yeah.
They get 4 booths together, and so they promote the whole North Island, and Kingfisher's kayaking. They do the European trip, and there's a bunch that go on that trip too, to Europe. So, and again, because of the Americans, not going down there, there's a lot more locals coming up here. Okay, Monday I had the emergency planning meeting, and that went well, and we're talking about a few changes there and some tabletop exercises. What else I got? Parks today. Did a parks meeting too today. So I think that's it. And like I say, I'll give you some green. I'm disappointed that more of the audience didn't show up because I've got extra copies now over here. So
Keep 'em for next- keep 'em for next time.
I'll give them all up to the staff or something.
There you go. You got a whole bunch of these?
Hey, I got them right there.
Oh, okay.
Counselor Robertson.
Yeah, I did forget to mention one thing, sorry. I think the mayor and
Counselor Dudas.
Councillor Dudas and I were at the opening of
Of
the
course.
Island Health, KEDC Island Health Housing Units, and the vice president from Island Health was there. And got to go through them. It was the official opening. They're done, got to go through. They're very nice, they're very utilitarian, and each room has its own bathroom separate, so you can have your own. Anyway, they look really nice, and they're on stream, and I suspect they'll be full anytime, any moment now.
Well, we hope so.
It's kind of cool to be able to go.
Great picture in the paper too.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a
Councillor
fantastic
Davis, good.
picture.
Yeah, I was sort of shocked. That was such a good picture on the, with you guys cut, remember at the front of the paper?
Yeah.
Everybody was smiling and laughing. I think you guys were having trouble.
This isn't
weren't you?
work.
The scissors were too tall.
It made
I
for a
know, I
great
said that
photo.
we have big scissors down here, but it was too late when they brought out the little scissors. So it gave Kathy lots of time to be able to get the right picture.
And Pat was able to say a few words on behalf of the town too, so.
Yes, that was very nice.
All right, my mayor's report is fairly short. Attended many meetings, but I was away for about 10-12 days and had a great holiday. Coffee with the mayor was very nice, and it's nice to have people sometimes just coming in, giving me an update of what they're doing.
Mhm.
And it's good, and I think it's well appreciated that they're doing it. Port Hardy Farmers Market, the dates have been set for the summer markets, and we'll be sharing them with the district pretty soon, so we can make sure we have the Terra Park available. The grand opening of Columbia Court was wonderful. KDC's done a really good job with their construction company, and now it's officially Island Health Facility, and they will be working on furnishing in them, and people will be coming and occupying them, and hopefully people that will be staying for extended periods of time. The meeting with Minister Berard was very encouraging, and it was interesting. I don't know if everybody saw the press release that came out of his office not too long after that about permitting and dates and things like that. And he did stress at the meeting about how there will be a speed up. It won't take years to get something approved, which has been the case in the past.
Mhm.
Attended the Integrated Safety Committee meeting today that looking at working with the community on a possible policy that will be coming soon, but I'll just leave it like that. Want to congratulate the Foundry on their press release and the official opening of the facility in Port McNeil, which is huge and very well needed. And they've been doing outreach, but now they will have a permanent facility down there that they will go back and forth with. And also a big shout out to the under 18 Triport Wild Girls who won gold at the Wicked Fest, which is
Yeah.
awesome. That big, huge tournament with teams from all over the world, and so great work. I think that, I just wanted to speak about the upcoming summer and if we don't get more snow. So when I was flying back from Vancouver, and you know how the plane sometimes goes along the over the mountains on Vancouver Island, and the lack of snow, it is downright scary. That's one of my favorite ways of going flying. And it was just like, whoa, you would think it was May or June. You would not think it's still wintertime. And leaving Vancouver, looking over at Cypress Mountain, there's hardly any snow on Cypress Mountain. And so, thank goodness, we have a water reservoir tower already constructed and up, and
Mhm.
but
Just that was good planning on someone's part.
good planning on the council and advocating to staff about having that. And but it is a little bit scary, and I mean, we know it could change and we could get more snow, but it's,
Yeah,
it's really good right now.
yeah, we're fortunate that our reservoir bagged on mostly for rain, but we haven't had the rain like we used to get.
Yeah.
I mean, down island get way more rain, we can get a lot of years, so. Yeah, they get 2 inches down there, we get, what, half an inch?
Something like that, that's been,
So it doesn't, like, doesn't get you filled up like you're hoping.
all right, on that doom and gloom.
Just talking about the rain and stuff like that, in the video itself, he talks about the rain and burned areas and how it just
Washes out fast.
washes across the top. It doesn't penetrate the soil.
Yeah, exactly, and as gardeners, we often see how it might be, bit of rain, but you dig down into the soil and it's so dry.
Bone dry,
Yeah,
right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
all right.
Crazy.
Under information and announcement, although February 1st is RCMP Appreciation Day,
Mhm.
our deputy corporate officer talked to
Thank you.
the RCMP, and we will be moving that.
Great.
We'll honor them at a different date in February.
Mhm.
Louisa,
February 12th.
February 12th.
February 12th?
Yeah.
Best date to do it for the team over there, so.
And we'll bring that up at our next council meeting. All right, no notice of in-camera meeting, motion to adjourn. Council Smith.
Sound effects.
And
You got her up quick.
questions.
Good girl.
You're talking me?
Yeah.
Okay. Pertaining to the downtown revitalization economic, to your strategic plan. The addressed accessibility improvements seem to be addressed a little bit more. In the last week, I haven't been down this area for a while, but I had to take my grandson to get his health shots. I used to be helper health unit office. And there was an incident where a guy come over from Moe's Restaurant, come directly in my daughter's car beside me. And he veers off, and you've got your porta potty, outhouse there.
Mhm.
It's pretty bad, it's really disgusting on the outside, and they're not using it. He veered off of the car and he went right out to the liquor store and started urinating on the back of that building. My grandson's watching us, it's just disgusting. I went into the health shop, into the upper health unit office, and the receptionist is literally giving out cards that say patient quality care. And asking me to phone the number, which is VHOS number, to say what I'm saying here tonight to you, to say to them, because they've had enough of this going on in this area. And I don't think it's something that my grandson should see in the downtown core. I've lived here 30 years and I haven't been, like I said, I haven't been down this area for a while to go get health shots. My kids are all grown up. This is my grandson looking at this, and I think it's disgusting. And I think that porta potty, I found out it's not the liquor store, it must be you guys. You need to get rid of it if you're not gonna keep it clean. It's disgusting, and if you're paying a fee for it to be there, take the money and put it somewhere else in the town, because it's not getting used by these guys that are hanging around down there. Okay? That's all I gotta say, all right? Thanks a lot.
Thanks, Tim. All right, is there anyone online?
No.
Wow.
It's pretty scary.
They don't love us anymore.
Yeah, they're all gone away.
Alrighty.
Okay.
Well, thank you, everybody.
Yep. Have a good night.
Yeah.